Welcome, 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 welcome. Big Friday. Today's Double Decker Delora Day. Welcome all the new people that might be just hopping on. Got a great show, really covering a lot of things, a lot of questions, a lot of emails that I've gotten. It's very important that I address this. That's why I called it King Trump. Should we be worried? And how does the LA fires that is happening out there? Oh, I could do a whole show on that. A lot of this will be actually off the cuff, things that have come out just this morning. Also, we're going to cover I'm going to open with the sentencing of President Trump. That wasn't on the thumbnail. That wasn't our topic, but too much happens. It's like I have to do, it's just things change from yesterday to today. So it's going to be a very, very interesting show. Tonight, Double Decker Delora Day is this. You guys named it that. I didn't, but it's a great name. And tonight is Fab 4 on Rumble at 6 p.m. Eastern. It's called 10 Days to the Inauguration, and they're throwing everything at us. They're going out with a bang, that's for sure. And they're not going to stop. And it's not going to stop. Not going to be a near-death experience, but it's not going to stop. Also, we'll be having an off-the-cuff Monday instead of Wednesday. It will be Monday, Inauguration Day, January 20th at 11:30 a.m. I've said this, and I'm going to say it again. We had the opportunity to go to the inauguration. We really did not feel to go. I have no idea why. But I know Dennis and I were talking about it yesterday, and we really got to check in our spirit. So we're not going. Now, does that mean something's going to happen? I sure hope not. So let's make sure we pray against that. We will pray at the beginning of that on January 20th at 11:30 a.m., not noon. And because the swearing in is at noon. So be on here at 11:30. It's a half hour early. If you want to be notified, go to thegatheringmovement.org. A little drop down will happen, and put your name and email address in there, and you'll be on our mailing list. Also, that Wednesday, I will not be. Actually, I'm going to go out of town that week, so I won't be on Wednesday. It'll be Monday instead. Also, I told you I've got some great and interesting guests are in line. I'm going to try to do it every other week on Off the Cuff on a Wednesday, or every third week. It depends on what I've got to share and the guests I bring on. Now, the guy that is coming on next Wednesday, you guys have been bugging me. I mean, you email me all the time. I was on the phone with him yesterday, and I told him, I said, look, you got to come on. I'm not going to, no holds barred. This is up close and personal. I said, I'm going to ask you why you do this, why you do that. What do you really believe? So it's going to be very interesting. So next Wednesday at 1 p.m., because his show is on the same time as mine, actually, he goes on at 11:30. That'll be David Nino Rodriguez next Wednesday. We'll be on, and I told him, I said, look, Nino, if you're coming on, no holds barred, bro. No holds barred. I'm asking you stuff a lot of people have been wondering about, and I'm going to ask you. Okay, and then 2 weeks after that, I've got Bart Sibrel on. I don't know if you guys know about him, but I'm just starting to get people in line, and there'll be a lot of other people. There'll be some very interesting people you've never heard of, things going on that you have no idea with the Supreme Court, all kinds of things. So it's going to be an interesting 2025 from my perspective and from everything we're going to see in the world. Fundraiser. How am I able to do this? Really? How am I able to do the gatherings? How are we able to give to homeless people and some ministries that we really believe in? A lot of it is through your donations, and thank God for you every day. We pray for all our partners. If you'd like to be a partner, please go to thegatheringmovement.org and be one. But we have a couple other ways, and one other one I actually was on the phone with someone from our community that helps me find guests and things. And I was telling her, I said, I've got something coming up. So we got to expand. I'm not going to be a grifter. I mean, I'm not, but I can't go to a venue and say, listen, we'd like to put a homeless shelter here and have gathering meetings. If I pray for you, will you give it to me? If I could do that, we'd be all set. Or if someone would hand me a couple $1 million, are you out there? We could do it. But other than that, we got to do some fundraisers. So this is one of them is joyandcountry.com. That's my daughter, Jenna. That's what she did. Had nothing to do with us, actually, except we talk about it a lot. And we give her, ideas for t-shirts and things. But this is Under His Wing, Psalm 91, embroidered sweatshirt. Comes in a slew of colors. I always call these sweatshirts bougie. They're bougie sweatshirts. They're not like garbage sweatshirt you're going to buy in Walmart. This is embroidery. It's not like stamped on. It is absolutely gorgeous. As you can see, it's got the cross, the angel wing, Psalm 91 under it. And then the necklace, the Psalm 91 necklace. This is kind of our OG. It's got the big angel's wing, and it's got Psalm 91 there, and it's got the jewel, the marble with the jewels around it. And then the bracelet, which is under his feathers. I always like to take this off. I don't know why I even put it on. It's just so gorgeous. This is Austrian crystals. And then this says faith. It's engraved. It says faith. And it's got an angel's wing connector. These are black, gray, and white. So there's that. And then if you want to help us, go to wearetakingitback.com. And instead of buying, you want to buy grass-fed beef and, all this stuff and all kinds of things you can imagine. Buy some of your groceries at, I can't say the name because of our friend Barack Obama. So go to wearetakingitback.com, put your name and your phone number in there. We'll text you, not going to spam you. We'll text you and give you information on how you can get there because I can't give it to you here. Okay. All right. So all of these, this, the bracelet, and so much more are linked in the description below. Okay. That'll bring you right to these items. If you want to see what else there is and that I have in my closet, go to joyandcountry.com. Go to Delora's Closet on the Joy and Country website, and you'll find this stuff there as well. Now, big announcement, and you guys know this that follow Joy and Country. Saturday Steel's going on. That's today until tomorrow night at midnight. 12:01 tomorrow night. That's it. No more. So as I always say, cuckoo no more. 12:01 midnight. So what you got to do is you got to go there between now and tomorrow night at midnight. And because you get an extra 10% off the entire site. Okay. And remember, always free U.S. shipping. You don't pay a dime for shipping. You can have a 500 pounds you bought. You're still not going to pay for shipping. Okay. So awesome. All right. Let's get this party started. A lot of emails were sent to me regarding President Trump's seeming obsession with buying other countries. Someone wrote, and look, and well taken. I get it. If you just got into this, or if you don't really, you can't really figure things out. And some people are like that. They're very linear, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Then you're going to question because he's laser focused on buying countries. Here's LA burning down, terrorist attacks happening, and he's talking about Greenland. He's talking about Panama. He's talking about Canada. It reminds me of, where it says Nero was fiddling when Rome was burning. Is that so? Is that true? Is it King Trump? Is it something we should worry about? Or does he know something we don't know? So let's see around the world what is happening. Okay. This is a small amount of what is happening. Turmoils, conflicts around the world. Here it is 10 days before the presidential inauguration. These are some of the things that are occurring. The Israeli-Palestine war, which includes Hamas. Hold on a second, guys. Russian-Ukraine war. Iran-Israel conflict. Mexico is experiencing all kinds of conflict in its own country. Syria is in turmoil. Korean War is still happening between North and South Korea. It never stopped. Armed conflicts are all over Africa. I don't know if you guys really understand what is happening in Africa. Whole tribes are being wiped out. Okay? So North Africa, major conflicts, Cyprus, Egypt, Iraq, Libya, Morocco, Yemen. Aside from all the terror attacks, the LA fires, and all of the distractions, what would be the most important thing to President Trump that he proved he was going to do? I mean, look, the guy had a first term, okay? We saw whatever he said. He absolutely did. I'm not going to question him. I did a few things back then. I didn't know. I learned. He taught me that if he says it, unless someone out and out stops him, and it's impossible, he's going to do it. So what would be the most important thing to a president who ran on the first term of being a peaceful president? What would be his stand more than anything is to stop World War III in its tracks. Trump keeps saying he needs Greenland, he needs Panama, Panama Canal, Canada, needs to have agreements with Mexico for economic reasons. And I believe that's true. There's a lot of resources there, but that's not the main reason. And he can't say what the main reason is because it will cause alarm. I believe that's true, but I do not believe that's the only thing. What he's trying to do is he's trying to stop a possible invasion from everywhere around the United States. What does he know that we don't do? We know. What does he know? Does he think maybe they're trying to infiltrate to have a war on our own soil? Sounds logical. If I hated the United States and wanted to take over the United States like some of the countries, that's what I would do. I would want it from within. So how do you stop that? How do you stop flyovers? How do you stop access to countries that get closer to the United States? He gets Greenland to the northeast. Greenland is 3,000 miles from Moscow. That's from New York to LA, okay? And from Moscow all the way through to Greenland, there are countries that will allow Putin to do what he would want to do to get to Greenland. He's got Alaska to our northwest. Small strait right there between Alaska and Russia. What about Canada to our north? Very important. Very important, Canada to our north. And Mexico and Panama to our south, especially since the United States built most of the Panama Canal. But because of poor leadership and having an agenda, presidents gave it back. He's also going to build an iron dome over our country, just like Israel. Let me show you. Let me show you what that is. This is an iron dome shield. And let me explain to you. This is why when Israel was attacked, they couldn't get near them because of the iron dome. This is it. The iron dome system ignores incoming threats. It determines will land in uninhabited areas. It's like AI over the United States. Okay. Now, what happens is the enemy fires a rocket. The radar system detects the rocket and tracks it. It tracks it to see if it's over a very inhabited area or in an uninhabited area, if it determines that it's going to hit people, that that it's going to cause damage, then what it does is it estimates the impact point, and the launcher fires a missile and it intercepts it. That's what an Iron Dome does. It's the best known missile shield in the world. It's designed to intercept short range rockets as well as shell mortars at ranges of 4 to 70 kilometers from the missile launcher. It tracks incoming with radar, calculates. It's amazing. But then what it does is it fires missiles at these rockets and leaving the others to fall on open ground, and nearly 100% accurate. So is he exaggerating a threat to this country? Let me tell you what a Russian spokesman, Dmitry Peskov, said just a few days ago. That Putin is closely monitoring. You see what I said? Okay? Because Russia has, we understand that they're trying to fight incoming NATO and, people trying to take over Russia. We understand all that. That doesn't mean they get Boy Scout badges. Okay? No one is saying that Putin in Russia is, the next coming of Christ here. He's not. He did a lot of damage in his time as a president of Russia, and his predecessor did as well. So Petrov said that the Arctic, okay, which is Greenland, was in Russia's sphere of national and strategic interests, and it is interested in peace and stability there. President Trump never said that it wouldn't be any peace and stability. What is he talking about? He just wants to buy it. Why would that bother you? Why would it? My question. The EU Foreign Affairs Chief, Kaja Kallas, has stressed that, quote, we have to respect the territorial integrity and sovereignty of Greenland. And Germany's Olaf Scholz has made clear that borders must not be moved by force. Danish Prime Minister Mette, a woman, Frederiksen, has said Copenhagen has a clear interest in ensuring that the U.S., absolutely its closest ally, now this is a quote, plays a key role at a time of rising tensions in the North Atlantic, particularly involving Russia. So what is President Trump, not King Trump, President Trump trying to do? It's a preemptive strike. He tried to do this in 2019. He had no one backing him up. Maybe now with those quotes, and Don Jr. went to Greenland. And if you go on TikTok or you go on X, you'll see everywhere that the people are MAGA. They love DJT. They love the fact that all of this is happening. They love it. And so perhaps that will happen. If it does, Russia will lose its mind, along with the European Union. Now, the U.S. would not be wide open on our northeast flank. Greenland will secure that. But is Russia the only threat? Absolutely not. CPC, Communist Party of China, has finalized plans to build a fully modern military on par with the United States by 2027. By the year 2027, that marks the centennial of the founding of the People's Liberation Army. They'll be able to build a fully modern military, a goal that is in alignment with national strength and will fulfill the future national defense need. State-run, Global Times quoted Chinese analysts as saying on Saturday. By 2035, they expect to own much of the U.S. farmland and other lands and take over as the sole superpower. Halt. Let's stop right there. There is a family. I'm not going to go down the road. I'm not going to go down the road here. But there is a family, because I got to verify all of this, that has Chinese connections, that owns a very large percentage of the land that is being burned in LA right now. Understand, the CCP, in their wild mental, whatever they're going on in their brain, and what they've been brainwashed to believe about this world. Freedom is not allowed in the United States, is their last frontier to make sure that we become a weakened superpower. Why do you think so many blue states offer Chinese as a language? Why? Why? Have you ever thought of that? Spanish, yeah. It's been for years. It's been French. I took French. I questioned that. Spanish, we're right at Mexico, but I figured Canada, French, I can jockey that in my brain. But Chinese? Why? Because they're setting it up. Greenland, Mexico, Panama. We'll secure that. Canada. By 2035, the CCP expect to own a lot of this country. They want to turn this country into theirs. What's the most important thing to understand about President Trump at this time is he knows what's up. You see, TikTok, is owned by a Chinese company stationed in, it got a office in LA, an office in New York. Now, TikTok for me was always a platform that I could get some real truth on. That's changing. It's changing as we speak. It's now people have to say for entertainment purposes only in order for it to stay up. We know that's not true. It's all lip service. But here's the deal. President Trump wants the Supreme Court and TikTok's attorneys are arguing today. I'll probably cover it tonight if there's a verdict. If not, I won't. But because by January 19th, they have to have someone buy their company from the United States, or they're going to be taken off platform. Now, do I understand why they're doing that? Yes and no. I can argue for both sides. If I was on a debate team, I could argue for both sides. President Trump is asking for the Supreme Court for more time so he can negotiate with that company. I know what he's going to do. And you know what he's going to do. Him and Elon are going to buy it. And that's what's going to happen. And it's going to turn into another completely free platform. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping happens. Or it's going to get shut down on December 19th. That's happening as we speak. So let me continue with the CCP. He knows President Trump, unlike 2016 when he got in, he really, I think he went in with like rose-colored glasses. I really did. Because he would do something and I'd go, he doesn't know. I really think it's just totally different. He has, God knows. God knows how to do everything. A lot of people woke up in the last 4 years, okay? And what has happened is DJT has gotten very smart. He's gotten very wise. He understands. He understands that what is happening with the DS and the worldwide against us, okay? He gets it now. He knows. He sleeps like this, okay? One eye open, always. I know he does. He's got people that sleep like that. You wonder, why did he put this one in? Why did he do that? I'm not going to question that. I only know what I know. And I don't care. The biggest truther out there that's got a 5.8 million followers, they only know what they know. If they are not in that room sitting right next to Trump, they have no idea what he's really doing. But this is what we can figure out. And that's why I'm off the cuff explaining to you, he's not King Trump. He is actually making sure we do not end up in World War III. He knows DC is not part of us. He knows it's full of swamp creatures. He knows that he cares about the safety and the prosperity of the American people, period. So let's move on. What does this have to do with California? Well, I told you it had to do with that family and the CCP connection and how they own a great majority of what's being burned. Now, we lived in California for 10 years. PCH, Pacific Coast Highway. I'm sorry, we call it PCH. I must have driven down that road 5,000 times. Okay, go to the beach. We loved it there. We had friends in Malibu. I mean, we would have loved to live there if it, you didn't have to go over the mountain and Mulholland and everything to get every place else, which is a pain. But it's a beautiful area. There's houses all up the mountain that comes right down, built into the mountain that comes right down on PCH. And then there's 4 lanes of PCH. And then there's the houses that are honestly almost right on PCH and back up to the ocean. Okay, we had friends that lived in a house there. What has happened is California right now, for those that have never lived there, okay, goes like this. June gloom. Okay, that's what we called it, June gloom. So in June, it's very hazy. It's very, the sun doesn't come out a lot, or the sun is blocked by smog or whatever. So it's gloomy. It's June gloom. It's like between spring and summer. Then July, August, September comes, and those are the dry months, even October sometimes. And it's very dry, like 10% humidity, 15% humidity. And not one drop of rain, like nowhere. The sun's out all the time, and you don't even know their seasons. So those are the months that there are fires that ignite. So how do fires ignite? What happens is it gets so dry, the underbrush gets dry, the leaves falling and the different growth gets dry. There's no water. It dries out. It's a desert. And someone comes by with a cigarette. And this happens all the time. You'd think people would know. You had to flick it out the window, not realizing, and it ignites. Or there's fire starters, arsonists. People are horrible. And that happens or people, some scientists even say it gets so dry that it kind of self-ignites with the right conditions. Okay. So we know that's fire. That's the fire time in there. Sometimes even in November, but around November, we start with the Santa Ana winds. Okay. Santa Ana winds are not like hurricane winds. You'll get a gust of 30 miles per hour, then nothing. Then you get a gust of 30, and the winds are coming from Santa Ana, and everybody knows that. And it goes through like Christmas, and then that's the first of the year. It stops. Now, January, February, we're going into the wet season of Los Angeles County, Los Angeles Basin. Okay, and the wet season, it does rain. Now, everything stops when it rains in LA. It's like if the Northeast got 2 feet of snow, people don't want to drive. And it's like everybody's afraid. And oh my God, it's raining. I can't get my hair wet. And God forbid my Botox gets wet. It's that kind of thing. So what happens is the rain starts. Well, isn't that interesting? I just gave you a scenario, plus or minus a couple days here or there. I lived there a decade, remember, in Los Angeles, a decade. Where I lived, part of the time is burning right now. Okay, I have friends there. I have people I had to check on. Now, along comes January 2025. I don't understand. Santa Ana winds 100 miles an hour? What? Everything. Pacific Palisades. Pacific Palisades was Dennis and I favorite place to go. We prayed that someday we would own a home there. That's how much we loved it. Dennis had a business back then that was flourishing in Pacific Palisades. It's done. It's gone. It's completely. Now that land and the land on PCH on both sides are worth multiplied millions upon millions into the billions and the hundreds of billions of dollars. What has happened is not illegally. Now you're going to have to understand that. And I'm jumping. I don't know if I want to do this yet, but let me just tell you, yes, insurance companies did pull their insurance a month ago, 2 months ago. It has nothing to do with the insurance companies. That has to do with Gavin Newsom. And I'm going to get to that at the end. Let me just finish this. The DS is throwing everything at us, including California wildfires. They know that DJT is going to stop, secure the United States, stop World War III, become the superpower that we should be. We are the only pure republic, and I don't even know if that's the best government to have. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we're the greatest country in its purity. I'm not saying now, I'm not saying even the last 100 years, in its purity for freedom. Terrorist attacks on our own soil, drones to instill fear, now burning down California. Look, they want Trump to play whack-a-mole. Did you ever play whack-a-mole? Whack-a-mole is when you stand in front of a game, and up pops these moles, and you have a mallet, and you hit it, gets up, boom, you hit it. Another one comes up, boom. And you don't even know what's going on inside of or outside of you. You're so engrossed on playing whack-a-mole and stopping the one thing that came up to hit it, to get it down, that you have left everything else, and you are no longer doing the greater thing that needs to be done for this country. They want Trump to play whack-a-mole. Hit that, then hit that one, then hit that one. They want him to leave everything else to stay, just because he wants us to be a safe and wealthy nation. They want him to get him off his laser focus. Distract, distract, distract. President Trump is playing the long game. Let me say it again. So you don't get upset with him with what you see. President Trump is playing the long game. And if you really think that what he said, that he will do anything, he'll force Greenland, that is all smoke and mirrors, my friends. All smoke and mirrors. He knows the serious threats that are trying to annihilate the United States. He knows the moles we have from within. He knows it. We don't. I know people are saying, well, the kids in the tunnels, and guys, if we end up in World War III, the kids in the tunnels are dead anyway. It's all, you got to look at the big picture, not the dot. That dot. Look at the big picture. He knows what he's doing. So why is California in drought really right now? Why are the fires gone wild? Why did Pacific Palisades completely burn to the ground? Why is there no water? Did you know that 100 years ago, the center of California, there was an incredibly huge lake down the whole center called Tachi Lake? one of the largest lakes in the world. They dumped the water in 1983 from Tachi Lake into the Pacific Ocean. Why? Watch this. No one can say this better than DJT.
One that you may not know, but water. You know, in Los Angeles, you can't get proper amounts of water.
Right.
And it's unbelievably expensive. And you might have a house in Beverly Hills, and they're actually thinking about rationing water. Can you believe it?
I can believe
And
it.
I was in the farm court country with some of the congressmen. We're driving up a highway, and I say, how come all this land is so barren? It's farmland, and it looked terrible. It was just brown and bad. I said, but there's always that little corner that's so green and beautiful. They said, we have no water. I said, do you have a drought? No, we don't have a drought. I said, why don't you have no water? Because the water isn't allowed to flow down. It's got a natural flow from Canada all the way up north of water, more water than they could ever use. And in order to protect a tiny little fish, the water up north gets routed into the Pacific Ocean. Millions and millions of gallons of water.
Okay. Now, a lot of you knew that. Maybe some of you did not. Now, someone in the chat said, Don Jr. already said they will not buy Greenland. Deborah Ann, can you send me video proof of that? Not that I believe it, but if you could send me video proof of it, I would truly appreciate it, because I know people said he said that. I never heard him say that. So if you could, Deborah Ann, I would appreciate it. Send ddgathering@gmail.com. I'd like to see proof of that. Yeah, interesting. Queen Esther, news conference Monday. President Trump kept saying drip, drip, drip. Yeah, that caught my attention too. I put that news conference up, by the way. And that was one of the reasons why. Anyway, do you really think that Governor Newsom, Nancy Pelosi, and those that are in California really care about this little smelt bait fish? Do you really think they care about it? Really? They're trying to bankrupt farmers so that they have more people from out of the country buying that land. That was planned eons ago. And if they can't have it, they will burn it down so no one can use it. So let's go back to the insurance. Why are people's insurance getting canceled from a month ago? How did they know? They are actually disobeying a California law. Let me give you the law, but let me tell you where they're not being illegal. Okay, so let me explain to you how this works. There's a law in place that doesn't allow insurance companies to drop coverage to areas of wildfire within a year of a wildfire if it's declared a national state emergency. Okay, if you're protected or in that zip code, it's included in the moratorium on non-renewals. Okay, so last year, if you look back, a couple of times, a state of emergency was declared. Newsom does this a lot. Why does he do that? Because the federal government will give California state money, and then he can dole it out the way he wants because people don't see it at all. So how the moratorium works is this. Following a governor declaration of state of emergency, the Department of Insurance partners with Cal-Fire and the Governor's Office of Emergency Services. And they identify wildfire perimeters and zip codes within the mandatory moratorium areas. The protection from cancellation or non-renewal lasts for 1 year from the date of the governor's emergency declaration. You hear that? The 1 year protection applies to all residential policyholders within those zip codes and those affected areas who suffer less than a total loss, including those who suffer no loss. Those who suffer a total loss have additional protections under the law. That's the total loss which is quite a bit at this point, is where they are disobeying the law. There's another whole chapter in their policies that explains that. And even then it's a bit stringent. But if you say you have 90% of your house burned down, okay, and last year in 2023, a state of emergency was declared for a fire. And so what happened is your insurance company, whoever it is, ABC insurance company, said to you, okay, you're in a zip code that's always under threat for a fire. So here's the situation. If another one happens within a year, and it looks like there's going to be, and a year goes by, then the moratorium is up and we can take our insurance back. So what has happened is the state of California insurance partners, Department of Insurance, and Governor Newsom, who signed it into law, allowed insurance companies to do this. It's not the insurance companies. Do not get mad at them. Do I think they're horrific? Yeah. Do I think it's terrible they're doing it? Sure. But they are obeying the law. It's like, people looking at DJT and saying, well, you only paid 6% taxes last year and you have all this money. Well, good for you, Mr. Trump. You know how to use the system. I wish I knew how to use the system that much. Don't get mad at the insurance companies, okay? So if last year, state of emergency, they put in a claim, then what happens is, here it is a year later, they're dropping you. That's it. That's the moratorium's up. It's legal. Now, the person I spoke to yesterday lives in California and is a member of our community, said that it's very hard to get insurance on condos now because a lot of them are older and they go up in flames like a matchstick. So it's very hard. So you got to finagle and go around and everything. Look, let me put it to you this way. California is falling apart. I lived there when I got there in 2006, it was paradise until about 2011, 2012. And it started going down. The end of our friend Barack and Michelle's second term. Today, everything is wrong. You have a business in California and you leave. For 5 years, you still have to pay taxes in California. There's so many things. Do I believe a DJT term will clean a lot of this up? Yeah, if we can get rid of the governor and some of the legislators. So that's why when people say, it's all not going to happen in 4 years, it's not, because they've got a lot of them have to be voted out in 2026 midterms. That's the thing. So this is where we are. So how long ago was the last devastating fire? It was in 2023. That now gives, even though California state is like living in Armageddon, that gives them the right to drop the insurance, unfortunately, and they will. So can the land all be bought up? Absolutely. But by who? Several countries I've mentioned, they'll swoop in and do that. Beast to the east at the top of the list. Isn't that their plan I just spoke about? Guaranteed. Once DJT lays his hand on that Bible and it is official and he is inaugurated, it will never, ever happen. Or the state of California will go bankrupt, because what's going to happen is people aren't going to be able to pay. The banks are going to can't do it. They're going to ask for bailout. They are not going to have any money, and the state of California is going to go bankrupt. Honestly, that's the best case scenario. I wish I didn't have to say that. I hope it doesn't happen, but that is actually the best case scenario. So President Trump is doing the right thing. He's posting here and there, commenting, expressing his sorrow for what is going on, but he's not getting involved. He's on the straight and narrow. He's laser focused. They want him distracted. Don't fall for, he doesn't care. He wants to be king of the world. That's not true. And nothing could be more false. His entire platform was based on making life for Americans better and keeping us safer. And he proved it in his first term. Don't bail on him now. Remember the very true quote. I posted it on x.com. If you're interested in following me there, it's at Delora Gathering. I posted this quote. It's by Sun Tzu. And this is what it is. An evil man will burn his own nation to the ground to rule over the ashes. That is exactly what's happening. That is exactly why they're trying to get him distracted. That is exactly, they don't care. They really don't care. They don't care if they'll rule over a nation of ashes. They don't want him in. They want CCP and other people around the world to take over. They want to stop this country from being free. And that's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. If you have a question on topic, 3 question marks, and then the question. True Social. No, True Social is, Karen, True Social at Delora Gathering. I think it's at Delora OBrien is True Social. X.com is Delora Gathering. Thank you for putting that. Molly Martini, I'm in California and it is so bad. Yeah, I'll tell you, Molly, Dennis and I and my family, my son lived there when we did, his family, his wife, they got married there. Jenna and Richie lived there. We all lived, Alyssa lived, my youngest lived there. We all lived there except our oldest, our firstborn, all stayed in New York. But we all lived there and it was paradise. It was paradise. It was the most beautiful state to live in. We left because when Kim Clement passed, he was, we worked in his ministry. He was really our, spiritual father and mentor and dear friend. We just didn't feel to be there anymore. It didn't feel like there was any purpose. We got out at exactly the right time. Exactly the right time. Molly Martini, Nino in Boots. Boots, that's funny. Say World War III have already happened. Yeah, I can say, cows, when you don't look at them, they sing. When you're not in earshot, cows sing. I can say anything I want. I don't. Now, can you say World War III? Maybe I can't hold it against them for saying that, because they're probably looking at it in a whole different way that I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it in a way that everybody is aware, like the war that is in Israel. That's the war I'm talking about. To me, that's World War III. Now, is the world at war? Yes. But to me, World War III is thrown around a little bit too much. And World War III is much beyond, what we're dealing with. So that's all I got to say about that. Liberty Bell, do you think the wealthy who lost their homes will be able to rebuild, or will new scum, it cracks me up, that name DGT gave him, figure out a way to confiscate their land? I don't know. I think those that are wealthy will have enough money to do it. I don't know what's happening I don't know anyone that's that wealthy that lost their home. I know people in condos. I know, smaller places. I know people more up in the mountains. I don't know anyone like in Pacific Palisades that has a $30 million home. I don't know. A lot of celebrities lost their home too, which is very interesting to me. Very interesting. Cindy, someone sent something about a 2028 agenda to make a smart city in Pacific Palisades. I don't know about that. Again, Cindy, anybody can say anything. I'm very careful with what I say. So I don't know. Ken Thoman, what is the plan for Canada? I don't know, Ken, completely. The biggest hint was that Trudeau stepped down. Now, people are saying, no, he didn't step down. Yes, he did step down. Yes, he did. It's just he's staying until this prime minister, until the election and other ones put in. That's all. Yeah, he did step down. He is not going to be prime minister any longer. That is huge. That is huge. The Conservative Party, Ken, in Canada is pretty much taken over that country. Now, whether or not it becomes another state or another United States territory, this is what I know. There will be a treaty passed by Congress, no longer executive order, so that the next president, but I don't believe that's going to happen. I believe we've got a good 8, 12, 16 years of good. Okay. So I don't think that, but Ken, it depends on who ends up getting elected, which will be the Conservative Party, and what they agree with President Trump. I believe that's how it's going to go. I don't believe they're going to become a U.S. territory. What I do believe is that there will be dual representation there, and that there will be a lot of say with what goes on there, but it won't be owned by us, if you know what I mean. I believe there's just going to be a treaty and an agreement, and no one will be able to come in the northern borders. They're going to allow maybe the dome. Oh, look, this is what I believe. If I was President Trump, is what I would do. I would say, look, you play ball with me. I'm going to give you no tariffs, the best pathway to sell your goods and companies. You'll have a bigger tax base. And this is what I'll do. When we do the dome, the Iron Dome, we'll include Canada and we'll include Mexico in the Panama. That's what we'll do. So it'll be one whole area, and it will be under an agreement and a treaty with the United States of America. If I was president, that's what I would do. That would be my art of the deal. Okay. We give you. This is what you do for us. I hope that helps answer your question, Ken. Kathy 12, do you think after Trump's inauguration, he'll shed light on the truth about California? No, I don't. I don't think, don't get mad at me, you guys. You're going to get mad at me. I don't think the full truth about anything will be out the first 2 years. I don't. I think something will happen that will force it. Now, I know he's going to release everything on the JFK assassination. That might be a springboard to something else. It's going to be a domino effect that's going to happen. It's not going to be, we're watching, tribunals on TV. It's not, guys. It really isn't. Will that happen in 4 years? Maybe 8 years? Maybe. I don't know. It's not going to I don't believe in his term, because he's got to take everything and flip it back right side up. That's what he's got to do. And it's not going to happen overnight. First day, he's going to, free the gulag, free all of this stuff, close the border, all of these things, which is the first step to keeping us safe. And then he's going to work in the financial realm. I believe he's going to increase Social Security. I believe he's going to bring interest rates way, way down. Come on, 22, 24, 30% on credit cards? Are you really kidding me? Really? Come on. All of this stuff has got to be stopped. They are scalping. I hate to use that term, but it's scalping the people of the United States, Americans. And they know it, and they're doing it deliberately. And I believe that's going to be taken care of. And I believe things like metals are going to go up and crypto. And I believe all of that's going to happen. I really, really do. That's what I believe. I've been pretty good. I mean, I told you the Supreme Court wasn't going to intervene with Trump's New York sentencing. I told you he was going to get an unconditional discharge. I told you this. I'm not like I'm not Kim Clement, but I hear, and I'm telling you, I think a lot of what I'm saying is probably going to happen. That's all. Without patting myself on the back. Videos of DEW laser strikes on Palisades, genuine or AI? Rebecca, I think it's AI. I could do that. Myself. I don't know how to do much. Mimi, Brandon says bad things are coming, like virus, death, and bank empty. We need to pray. Delora, Trump can't save us. Jesus, our only hope. Yeah, but Jesus installed Trump. Don't forget that. Jesus is always our only hope. Trump is our president. Jesus is our savior. Very different, but one affects the other. I know James Wood lost his home. Listen, I could go down a road there, Donna. I don't know if I want to. Let me. What the heck? It'll be fun. James Woods is one of the people that everyone said plays Biden. Okay. He has, and I said this Wednesday, whoever is playing him does not want to leave. And they wanted to run again. And the presidency has gotten to them. They think they're president. He's caused a lot of issues. Okay. Whoever the person is, caused a lot of issues. Then I find out that James Wood lost his home. Can I put 2 and 2 together? I don't know. Maybe. Molly Martini, how the heck can foreign countries buy land in the U.S. anyway? Very simple. What do you mean? How can they buy it? They go to a realtor. They show a residence here. They say they're going to do something with it, and they buy it. All the time. All the time. You can buy. My daughter bought a home in the Bahamas, and she's a U.S. citizen. It's all over. All right, Excalibur, do you think Newsom will be out of office before his term said 2027? Ding, ding, ding. I do. Mexico's going to be up for annexation next, Queen Esther. Annexation's a hard word, but it will be, there will be an agreement or treaty. Same with Panama. 15-minute cities coming soon. That's prior. Don't agree at all. Could I be wrong prior 2000? Absolutely, but don't agree at all. I actually believe the opposite. I believe the cities are going to spread. I don't believe there's going to be 15-minute cities. Okay, Janice Quinona, CEO of DWP, salary $750, recommended by base. She used to work for PG, was found responsible for 2021 California wildfires. Island Girl, I didn't know that. Could you send me that information? ddgathering@gmail.com. I'm sorry, I know nothing about that. Terry Board's exciting adventures. Do you believe that the government started it to hide their guilt? They need a heck of a lot more in the fire to hide what they've done. Oh my God. It's distraction. It's all distraction. It's all let's burn it. Let's kill it. Let's everything. Let's just, it's a cornered rat, that's going to scratch you because it's cornered. LG girl Hunter lost her home. Do you think it's hide me evidence? I didn't know he lost her home, LG girl, but if he did, 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. Kai K, I came in late. I was wondering if you covered the residence pellet will be in a surprise. They are not going to rebuild their homes. Yes, I went over the law too. You can rewind, my friend, and you'll, I went over that whole thing, that law. It isn't the insurance companies. They pressed for it. They lobbied for it. Sure. They paid off Pelosi and Newsom and everybody and gave them all kinds of trips and whatever. Absolutely. But it was the lawmakers that did that. Ron R., do you think it's odd that Newsom's ex Kimberly is not with DJT anymore? You want to open that? Boy, You don't realize what a rabbit hole that is, Ron. So forgive me for skipping your question. I might go down that road in the future. I just don't know if I should. That's all. I don't know if I should, because I've had feelings for a long time. And okay, Cam, have you ever noticed the old Putin looks so unlike the current? Go back 10 years or so, the old one had big eye sockets, current. Yeah, I look with that stuff, I'm like 50-50, kind of, Cam. I believe there are doubles. I believe people fake deaths. I saw Robin Williams alive in Nashville. So did Dennis. I believe there's a lot of that going on. I don't believe it's everything. I don't believe the 2.0, everybody's 2.0, everybody's an automaton, I do believe it exists. I do believe it could be, but I don't. And I want to tell you something, just for wisdom and common sense. When you go down that road with people who don't even believe that the government could be even involved with fires, and you say something like that, and I'm not saying, Cam, you would. I'm not saying that. I know we're amongst friends right here. But if people do that and they see this stuff, that's why they think we're crazy. Okay? Because you've got to get someone in a boat before you got to get it done. You got to catch the fish before you can start really cleaning them up. You know what I mean? But good question. Molly Martini, Diddy's he burned down, possibly get rid of evidence. I don't think so, Molly. I don't know. Maybe there's tunnels under his house. That's a way to get to him. I don't know. But I think they've got everything they need. I don't think there's anything else they need. Let me see. I'm not seeing anything. Do you think this is the 9/11 scare event near death? No, and I don't think there will be one, Brenda Mountain Girl. I don't think there will be one. Let's see. Do you think celebrity homes burning are an excuse for them to flee the country for other reasons? Yeah, R.C. Hookie. Yep. I do believe that. Not all of them, some of them. Do you think DJT will really change the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America? Absolutely. Is that a word? Absolutely. Yeah, I do. Like that. Like a New York minute, my friend. Absolutely. But, it's not going to be quick. It's not going to be easy, but it's very interesting. It's very interesting. It just is. All of this stuff, I'm in awe of what I'm seeing. Bonnie, do you think Trump will allow 15-minute cities to go? I don't think so. I think the 15-minute city thing is as gone as the Georgia Guidestones. Okay, that's what I think. Zeke 47, do you think Amy Coney Barrett voted to allow Trump's sentencing? Yeah, she did. Her and what's his name? Roberts. They thought was going to vote. I knew it. I told you this Wednesday. The Supreme Court wasn't going to do it. It was 5-4. There's a reason. Don't get mad at them. Not that I like her. I don't like her. I don't trust her. I don't trust her roots. But don't get. How can I explain it? Don't get mad at her and Roberts for that. Don't, because there's always a reason. Understand, this has set a precedent. A president got arrested and convicted and sentenced. Precedent set. Figure it out yourself. I don't know how I can make it any clearer. What did you think of Melania's dress at the funeral? Let me tell you something. I wasn't looking at her dress, Susan. I was looking at her face. And I'll tell you something. That was a face of a woman that wanted to annihilate every person in those first 4 rows for trying to take her husband out. I don't know how she did it. I give her props, man. I give her props. Now it looked a little Puritan, I could go down the road with what I thought about that. I don't think the dress could usurp this right here, her fotch. I don't think that's what I was looking at. Man, I'll tell you, I wish I could have been a fly on a wall to hear because Obama started that conversation with Trump. Wasn't the other way around. Wasn't the other way around. Let's see. I think that's it, guys. It's getting on here. Let me see what else you got. Let me see what else you got for me. I got a show tonight, so I'm gonna probably end it here. Let me go to the bottom. I'm sorry. Yeah, Molly Martini. She put no question. Just great show today. Loved it. You're awesome. Thank you. And oh my God, you're right. I don't know how Melania did it either. It was all over her face. Guys, that was the face to watch. Yeah, Donna. Why wasn't Michelle there? My first question. Where was BM? Where was that person? Yeah, the collar on her dress. Absolutely, Susan Elliott. Okay. Oh, I didn't know that, Gwen. It was also the anniversary of the death of her mother. That says a lot. That says a lot. On April 30th, I'm not real good myself. So, wow. Okay. That's interesting. She got a double whammy. Great lady. Great lady. Okay. All right. So let me just do this. Tonight, Double Decker Delora Day. Tonight, Rumble. Fab 4. With 10 days to the inauguration is the title. And I will be having a show on January 20th, 11:30 a.m. that Monday. That will be the Wednesday show. That will be off the cuff. We will watch it together. We will watch the swearing in together. We will pray together. Also, I told you next Wednesday, up close and personal with Nino. I'm going to ask him some tough questions. He said I could. He said I'm open game. I said, okay. That's all I needed to know. Because if he said no, I wouldn't have had him on. But I wanted to catch up with him. We hadn't talked in a long time. And so it was a nice conversation. He's having a problem on X. Someone took over his I think he got it back. I'm not sure. Okay. So following week will be Bart Seibel. Great. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be different than other ones had with him. So fundraiser. How do we do all this? How do we do gatherings? How do we give? How do we do blah, blah, blah? How are we going to do the impact centers? We can only do it through fundraisers and donations. I wish we were independently wealthy. I'm praying some things happen in this world this year and I'll never have to do this again. I can give this stuff away instead. But anyway, joincountry.com. Look at this under his wings. This is embroidery. He's got the cross. Beautiful angel wings at Psalm 91. Comes in a ton of colors. This is dark brown, very rich brown. Beautiful, beautiful brown. And then also the necklace, Psalm 91. This is our original. This is the first jewelry we ever had. This is the wing and the jewel in Psalm 91. Goes over the head, easy to put on. It also comes in gold, guys. And then the bracelet. If you ever needed to buy something special for someone, not that it's that much money, but this bracelet is it is incredible. It says faith engraved. It's got the angel wing as the connector. And then these are all Austrian crystals. Absolutely beautiful. You can find them all in the description below, Jenna said. And you can find them on joincountry.com in Delora's Closet. That is one of our main fundraisers, along with wearetakingitback.com. Go there, give us your name. We'll contact you. Also, Jenna said to not forget to tell you Saturday Steals right now, going on right now, guys, over there at joincountry.com till tomorrow night at midnight. This is on, this 10% off, everything 10% off. And plus, not in lieu of, but plus free U.S. shipping. Love you all. Meet us at the porch. Karen says Sundays, definitely. Meet us at the porch. You're going to have an awesome show. It's our online church service. Come and make us your Sunday spiritual happening. And tonight at 6:00, I'll see you on Rumble. That's Eastern time. And see you all later, guys. Love you dearly. Thank you for being part of my life. Go in the power of God. Good. I almost said good night. Good afternoon. See you tonight.